It happened on an ordinary Friday evening. We were sitting in our small living room, the lights dimmed, the smell of her favorite takeout lingering in the air. She was smiling at something on her phone, that easy, radiant smile I used to live for. And I was quiet. She noticed, of course. "Why are you so quiet?" she asked, tilting her head, smiling like she always did when she thought she had me figured out. I looked at her calmly. I didn't answer. I let her wonder. At first, I told myself I was overreacting. Maybe it was just fatigue, a rough day at work, nothing more. But then the little things started to stack up. Missed calls, excuses about meetings that seemed to appear out of nowhere, laughter at messages she would quickly hide from me. I noticed the subtle shift. The way she started holding her phone differently, the way her eyes would dart when I entered the room, the way she sometimes hummed softly at messages she didn't want me to see. I questioned myself first. Was I imagining it? Was my mind twisting ordinary behaviors into something sinister? I replayed our years together, every late night, every promise, every laugh. Was I blind? Or was something changing right before me? One night, curiosity and dread collided. I noticed a message flash on the shared tablet by the couch. A name I didn't recognize, the words enough to freeze my blood. "Can't stop thinking about you. Tonight." I felt the room tilt. The walls seemed closer, the lights harsher. My chest tightened, and for a moment, I thought I might collapse under the weight of disbelief. I didn't scream. I didn't confront. I just stared at the message until it disappeared from the screen. The next days were a delicate dance of suspicion. I watched her, listened to her, questioned her. The things I had once adored, the way she laughed, the way she brushed her hair back, the way she rested her hand on mine, now felt like calculated gestures, like echoes of a past intimacy I could no longer trust. And yet I loved her. I loved her enough to look for explanations, to hope it was something else. I asked her casually about her day, about friends, about work. She smiled, laughed, and reassured me with practiced ease. But behind that smile I sensed distance. A secret that wasn't mine. The breaking point came quietly, like a storm creeping over the horizon. One evening I returned early from work. The house was dark, the lights off, except for the glow of her phone in the living room. I walked in silently and saw her messages. Texts filled with longing, flirtation, and secrecy. The words were intimate in ways that no casual conversation could ever be. I didn't confront her immediately. I didn't need to. The betrayal was there, screaming louder than any accusation I could make. And yet, part of me wanted to understand why, how, when. I waited until she noticed me. "You've been quiet all week," she said, that same teasing lilt in her voice. I looked at her calmly, holding her gaze. I said nothing. I let her wonder. The tension between us became unbearable. I could feel the pulse of guilt in her eyes, the flutter of panic behind her smile. And for the first time I realized that silence could be louder than any words, sharper than any accusation. That night we sat across from each other in a fragile, suffocating quiet. Finally she confessed, not out of remorse, but because the weight of secrecy was too much to carry alone. She admitted her betrayal, her mistakes, the emotions she had tried to hide. Her voice trembled, not with fear of losing me, but with fear of facing herself. I listened. I felt the anger, the grief, the heartbreak swirl within me, and yet I remained calm. Not because I was numb, but because I had reached a point where clarity mattered more than confrontation. I realized that love alone could not fix what had been broken by deceit. The days that followed were a test of endurance. I grappled with memories that now stung with betrayal. The dinner dates, the quiet moments, the laughter that had once bound us. I questioned everything I had believed about trust, intimacy, and the life we had built together. And then slowly I made my choice. I would not fight for someone who had already chosen another path. I would not beg for affection that had been given elsewhere. I walked away, not in anger, not with a scene, but with quiet dignity. I packed my essentials, left her a note that said simply, "I loved you with everything I had. I hoped for honesty. I won't compromise my self-respect. Goodbye." Leaving her was agonizing. Each step felt like tearing a part of myself away. But with each mile I drove from that house, clarity settled in my chest. Pain remained, yes, but it was tempered with self-respect, with the understanding that I had chosen myself, even when it hurt more than words could express. Weeks later I sit in a smaller apartment, surrounded by my own space, my own things. I still think of her sometimes, the way she smiled, the warmth of her touch, but the memories no longer cut through me like glass. I am rebuilding slowly, carefully, with patience and self-respect. I have learned something crucial. Love isn't about clinging when someone's heart wanders. It isn't about pleading for honesty or hoping someone changes. True strength, true love, often means knowing when to remain silent, to let them wonder, and to choose your own path forward.